Okay, just a quick video response to Jay and the hottest thing we've ever eaten. When I was a kid, probably about 10 or 11 years old, there was one night we went out to a Chinese restaurant, my family, and we had met some friends of the family there. There were about 6 or 7 of us around the table, I guess. And typical American Chinese restaurant. We ordered family style so everybody could sample a little bit of everything, and they had the appetizer of the cold barbecued pork medallions, and that you would dip in the mustard or the red sauce and the sesame seeds. And I looked at that and thought, well, that looks pretty good, but I didn't want anything too hot, and I looked down at the red sauce and I thought, well, red sauce, that's got to be hot. But the mustard, on the other hand, that can't be too bad. That must be like Dijon mustard or something like that. I like that. So I grabbed one of those pork medallions and I just took it and just scoop shoveled a bunch of that mustard up on it and popped it into my mouth. And I thought, this is... Oh. And just as soon as I closed my mouth, my eyes bugged out of my head, and steam shot out my ears and out my nose, and there were bells and train whistles inside my head, and it sounded like 2 steam engines were going to come and crash. And right when I bit down on it, I tell you, my throat closed up. The little guys that work in my throat, they closed the latch. They said, boy, you ain't sending that stuff down here. No, sirree, Bobby. You find some other way to get rid of that. And I'm sitting there. I think I could hear my toenails screaming. It opened up all my senses. I'm sure I got radio stations from across the country in my ears, and oh man, it wasn't that the mustard was that hot. It's very hot, but it wasn't that it was that bad. It's just that I just scooped up a whole bunch of it, thinking that it wasn't bad at all, and just chomped right into it. And all of a sudden, everything shut down, and I couldn't talk because the vocal cords were singed. I used to have a good singing voice, not anymore. Anyway, that's just amazing what happened, I tell you. And daggers were shooting out my eyes, and flames coming out the sides of my mouth, I think. And I was trying to be mannerly, and I picked up a napkin and patted my mouth with it, and all of a sudden, woof, napkin went up in flames. And whoo, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Anyway, I grabbed for the ice water and I swallowed a bunch of that, and finally I got enough of that in my throat that the guys in my throat said, all right, we'll let that trickle down a little bit. And they opened up my throat just a little. But boy, after that, for several hours, every time I took a breath, I had to breathe real shallow. Because if I took in a deep breath, especially if I had my mouth a little bit open, like that, I'd feel it in my throat, and it'd start to close up, and the little guys in my throat say, we warned you once, boy, you ain't going to do that to us again. That was hot, that yellow mustard. And that's the ironic thing about it. I was thinking it would be the red sauce that would be hot, and turns out that was like a mild cocktail sauce, you know. And so if you're ever at a Chinese restaurant and you see those little barbecue pork medallions, just dip a little bit in the red sauce and dip a little bit in the sesame seeds to kind of make a buffer there, and then just scoop, shovel that yellow sauce in. It won't hurt you a bit, folks. Yo. Anyway, that's all I had to say. See you down the road.